Hello, welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. Thank you for joining me today on a Friday, which is going to be a Stamparatus 101 video. On the last one of these videos I did, which is a few weeks ago now, one of the lovely ladies, I'm really sorry because I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, I should have checked before I started filming, but I didn't, asked about using Stamparatus to stamp on 12 by 12. So that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to do a little bit of scrapbooking, because I haven't scrapbooked for a little while now, so I thought I would share a scrapbook page with you. I have a fabulous photograph of just some of the flowers in the market in Amsterdam from when I went out there for a Stampin' Up event. And I thought it would be perfect to scrapbook with some lovely purple tones. We've got two brand new purples and one returning purple in the new catalogue. These are the two new ones. These are Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, which is going to get really confusing with me, and Grapefruit Grove, because they're too similar. But these are two purples that work really, really, really well together. I think they're stunning. And they will definitely be making an appearance in my wedding album, because that's basically my wedding colours. So I've got the same in the cardstock. I've got a piece of crumb cake, a piece of Nature's Poem designer series paper, which is actually in Blackberry Bliss, but it's purple. I've got a crumb cake ink pad, and I've grabbed the Petal palette stamp set because I'm in love with this so much. So much. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of Whisper White, 12 by 12, and we're going to stamp on it. Okay, so I've got the Petal palette. I'm going to use this floral image. And what I did before I was kind of scoping this out, because I, as usual, haven't made this project before. So in my kind of scoping out process, she says, noticing that she's now got Old Olive all over her Stamparatus, I noted if you put the image kind of right in this corner, the Stamparatus is 8 by 8, so if you put that image right in the middle here, because it's quite a large stamp, you actually end up stamping in the same place. So I'm going to stamp it kind of, I'm going to pop it about there, I think. And hopefully we'll make a nice square in flowers. So because we're using a clear cling mount stamp, which is red rubber, we need to take away this foam piece, and we're going to be left with the white underneath. I'm going to pop my piece of Whisper White in, and I'm going to stamp in Highland Heather. So we'll open the ink pad up, slide it back, and ink it up. Okay, I'll stamp that straight down on there. And then all we need to do is we're going to rotate our piece of Whisper White around and stamp again, and rotate it around again, and you totally could do grab a scrap piece of 12 by 12, or like I've got a load of really old designer series paper, well, it's pattern paper and it's not Stampin' Up, that's only printed on one side, so I scoped this out a little bit with that. So isn't that really sweet? I think that's lovely. I'm just thinking I might put something in the middle of those. So if I go back to my stamp set and grab out that piece there, like that, and I'm going to stamp, so I'm going to pick that up with my Stamparatus. I'm going to close my Highland Heather and open my Gorgeous Grape and ink that up. Make sure that's right in the middle. Like, you could make sure that the Whisper White is secure with one of your magnets, but actually with a large piece like this I don't think it's necessary. So, and stamp, rotate it round again, and you can just build up pattern this way. And you don't need to worry that I've managed to get Gorgeous Grape all over my Stamparatus, because I know it won't transfer. There we go. Isn't that really, really sweet? Now, the way that I'm going to build this scrapbook page, you're probably not going to see most of that stamping, or you will see some of it, but you might not see all of it. So what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping in crumb cake just to kind of break it up a little bit, but I am going to do that afterwards. So I'm going to build my photograph first and the kind of cluster of things around that. So I've already pre-cut, because this photograph is a really odd size, so I've already measured and cut a piece of gorgeous grape to back that on. Then I've got a piece of Highland Heather like that. Now I'm actually going to rip this edge, so I'm going to take a metal ruler like so, and I'm just going to tear it towards myself for a nice little ripped edge. And actually that's a bit too neat, so I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to tear it messily this time. There, let's tear that bit off the bottom there, like that, and you can see how that's kind of going to sit, and it has hidden a fair bit of that stamping, but that's okay because I like the effect of that. I just want that stamping kind of poking out the side. I don't necessarily want it to be the main focus of the scrapbook page. So I've got a scrap of crumb cake cardstock because I wanted to add a kind of touch of crumb cake as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear both like two edges of this one. So there, like that. And if you tear towards yourself, you get these like lovely ripped edges, whereas if you tear away, you'll see just, so if I tear away that way, you'll see that you get a totally different effect on this side as you do on this one, and you just need to balance that when you're doing it. So I'm going to just pop that there maybe, or maybe that might be a bit long. I think that's a bit too long, so I'm going to just trim it off. And the great thing about doing it this way is that you're just going to, you know, it's really easy to trim a piece of cardstock because you're just going to measure it and trim it by eye by ripping it, which I think is really nifty. So there, like that. I like the look of that so far. And I'm going to add a piece of designer series paper as well. I'm going to do exactly the same with this. I'm going to just tear an edge like that, and then it's going to sit, I'm going to make it sit in that bit. Let it sit there, I think. So it's only going to be a really little kind of slither of designer series paper, but I like I'm just really enjoying ripping cardstock. It's just one of those really therapeutic things. So I'm going to just, we'll bring that down a bit, so actually the stamping's only going to be on 3 sides, or 2 sides even. There, what do we think of that? I think that looks really quite cool. So I'm going to just layer this up together. Now, snail adhesive is archival, so you can use your snail adhesive. Mine has of course ran out on camera. It's okay because they're so easy to change. It will take me literally seconds. There's the new one. So you just pop off, squeeze the top and the bottom together, and that one pulls off. That goes in the bin. Then you need to take out the little cardboard instructions, and then that will sit on there, and it all clicks together and it's done. So quick, so simple. So let's just pop this on there like that. I'm going to add some snail down that edge of my piece of designer series paper. I pop some snail straight across here, pop that, line that edge up because it's all neat that side and messy on the other, like that. And then I'm going to pop some snail on the back of that piece there as well, like that. Now, so our image is going to go about there, I think. I want to add some dots. I love this stamp. This might be one of my favourite stamps in the whole stamp set. Just think it's so much fun. I am going to grab probably slightly too large a block, but my long skinny blocks are over the other side of my room, and I'm going to stamp in crumb cake. So now I know kind of whereabouts that piece is going to go. I can just move it out of the way, and I'm going to add some dots just like that, and I'm going to stamp over there as well, and down this side too. And I'm stamping over and over and over again without re-inking my stamp, just to get that kind of really fun multi-tonal effect that I really like. Right, and that is my scrapbook page for today. Thank you ever so much for joining me. My battery is about to die on my camera. I will see you again next time for some more fun. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye for now.